Hey YouTubers, this is Paul Lentz back. I know it's been a while since I posted any videos on YouTube. Been kind of living life on easy mode this year. Going on a lot of hikes and walks with my dog. I've lost 36 pounds this year. I gotten up to like 260, and then I stepped up my steps. Walking over 30,000 steps a day, taking my dog to the park, going on hikes. I went to Vegas to play in the World Series of Poker this June and played a lot of events. And I cashed 5 times. Made a couple deep runs, but, had a couple hands didn't work out for me. Got one outed 3 times. Believe it or not, that cost me a chance to really have a really good payday. But I enjoyed myself. Although it was very hot down in Vegas during the month of June. So since I got back beginning of July, I've just been kind of chilling. Been watching a lot of YouTube videos about relationships and women talking about it's so hard to find a good guy and men won't commit, or men are just can't keep it in their pants, and they lie, and they just there's nothing but losers out there, especially these single moms. Which I'm going to get into that as well. It's like, I don't care if a woman's in her 20s, or if they're in her early mid-30s, or in their 40s and 50s, single mom, divorce. They got high standards, okay? It's like, I get women in their 20s, wanting to play around, mess with Chad. If you guys don't know who Chad is, first of all, most women only find 4.5% of men to be sexually appealing. 4.5. They always like to say that, men hold women to impossible standards of beauty. Bullshit. They've done like, the data when it comes to like these dating sites like Tinder, Hinge, Bumble, OkCupid, eHarmony, whatever you want to call it, okay? The average man swipes right about 35-40% of the time. The average woman, 4.5%. That's less than 1 out of every 20 guys that they'll even swipe right on. Everything was like quick left, blah, 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 blah. That means that most men, 95.5% of men, the average woman finds to be unappealing. Like, ignore these guys. Now, I know that they say, like, when men rate women on a scale of 1 to 10, they say, it's demeaning. But you know what? I think the average guy is pretty honest. A 10's a 10, maybe, like a 5 or 6 or 5 or 6. Maybe a variation of 1 or 2, but in general, all right? But here's how women rate men. 80% of women most women rate 80% of men as being below a 5. That's that's below average. 5's average, below a 5, 80%. Whereas most women rate the top 20% of men as being above an 8. That's like 2 ratings. We have 1 to 10. Women got below 5 or above an 8. That's it. Now, who's more harsh? Men or women when it comes to dating? Women. With the exception of the Chads in the world. And like I said, even though most women find like 20% of men to be attractive, when it comes to sexually appealing, the top 4.5% because of the swiping right thing. Now, what defines a Chad? That's a good question. I don't define what a Chad is. Most men don't define what a Chad is. Women define what a Chad is. And this is overwhelmingly what most women look for. Now, does that mean that every single female does this? Nope. All right. There's always outliers. Everybody's got, different fetishes. All right. But in general, you pull 100 women. Okay. This is what most of them are going to want. At least 6 feet tall, broad shoulders, head full of hair, that great smile, that pronounced chin, okay, and those amazing striking eyes. That's 6 of them, not counting, what kind of physical shape he's in, if he's packing where it counts, the money he makes. We're just talking like what they can just see on the outward, okay? Because if that guy doesn't hit those check marks, they're not going to learn about how smart or funny or, what kind of a great guy he is, or even how much money he makes. Because a woman can decide instantly if she'll even consider sleeping with you. And so, if you're not a 4.5 guy, then you're a non-Chad. And most men are non-Chads. And so, I mean, when a woman's in her 20s, a lot of them, they want to have fun. And I got no problem with that. I got no problem with women, wanting to have sex and want to have sex with good-looking guys. The problem I have is when you get online and you bitch. I can't find a good guy. Men cheat. They can't commit. No. What women would really need to say is they can't find a Chad that's going to commit. They can't find a Chad that's going to be faithful. A Chad that, is going to be honest and not just tell them what they want to hear. Okay? That's what I need to say. Because there are plenty of guys out there who are just decent guys, make decent living. Okay? They're not rich. All right? They're not Ryan Gosling, or The Rock, or Drake, or, wherever floats your, boat. Okay? But they're decent. But those men are simply invisible to most women. All right? At least the one like below 30. Now, once a woman gets into her early to mid 30s, and then she wakes up to reality that Chad, especially Chad with a bag, because while only 4.5% of men qualify as being a Chad, when it comes to Chad with a bag, that drops way down. Maybe like 6 out of 1,000 men qualify as being Chad with a bag. Now, you think that's low? That's including men who are married. When it comes to men who are single, maybe 3 out of 1,000. Okay? Maybe. But, and like I said, the 4.5% of men that most women find to be sexually appealing, that also includes married men. There's this website that, you see on these like Fresh and Fit and the whatever podcasts that they'll have their like female guests do. And it's called like the female delusion calculator. Well, they'll type in like what kind of man you're looking for. You can build a man. How tall, like your height preference, your weight preference, or he's obese or not, how much money he makes, the minimum that he's got to make, is he in shape, his race, his age, blah, blah, blah. And, or can he be married or not? And so it's fun to see these women kind of like, and they all say the same thing. I want to wear high heels. So he's got to be at least 6 feet. Some say 6'2", 6'3". Now, do you know what percentage of the male population is at least 6 feet tall? 13.7% of men. So, most women looking for a guy that's 6 feet tall, they're automatically dismissing 84% of men. Just bam. That's just on height alone. Now, if a woman's looking for a guy that's at least 6'2", like I'm 6'2", that's down to 3.7% of men. 3.7% of men are 6'2" tall. Okay? So I want 6'5". I haven't looked it up. I can imagine, how much that drops when you get to 6. If it drops 10 percentage points from 13.7 to 3.7, okay, just 2 inches long from 6 foot to 6'2". I can only imagine 6'5" and above. It's got to be less than 1%. Point is, when you factor in, all these other check marks that a woman looks for in a guy, and so it's always funny, their reaction is like, they think, oh, all guys make over 100K a year, which is like, it's like they really want a guy to make more than 100K, because especially living in a city, 100K ain't shit, okay? They want a guy that can afford to provide a lavish lifestyle. So in reality, you want a man, bare minimum, making 500K, but in reality, they want a guy making over $1 million a year. And a lot of these women, but here's the thing is, when it comes to men make over 100K, guess what percentage of men make over 100,000 a year? 17% of men. So 6'2" and 100K. 13.7 times 17%. Now, you don't add that up to get 30% of men. No. 0.137 times 0.17. All right? That's less than 3% of men out there that just are 6'2" and make 100K. Which is like, they say that because they don't want to come across as being like gold diggers. Okay? But even when you just say 100K, and then they do the other thing, it's like 0.001 whatever percent. All right, like 1 out of every 1,500 men. Okay, or like 1 out of even some of them are like, they get more specific, like age. It's like 1 out of 1,000, 10,000 men. It's crazy. And of course they got like these cats down there, right? It depends on, the more delusional are, the more cats that show up. The max is like 5 cats. What that means is, you're likely going to find your guy and you get a cat. Because that's who's going to be your companion, a cat. And, 30, 40 years ago, if a guy was decent and he provided, women who married non-chads, they could make marriage work with these guys. Because back then, most women were still economically dependent on men, And so, they obviously, most women end up marrying non-chads because there's not enough chads, and especially chads with bags, to go around for all the women that would love to have that kind of motherfucker wipe them up. Okay? And so usually when a woman gets into her, early to mid-30s and she realizes that chad, or especially chad with a bag, is not going to wipe her ass up, then she starts turning her attention to the non-chads out there. Or a guy that may be attractive, but he doesn't make her tingle down there. But, he has other check marks. And, don't marry the guy, but they make that guy wait. See, these women in their 20s, and I say this all the time, 4.5% of men are literally running through, smashing and dashing, pumping and dumping 35, 40% of women out there. Literally. A lot of women are sharing the same guy. Same type of guy, but especially the same guy. They just either deny about it or they don't know about it, depending on how good the Chad is about playing around. I know a guy. I play poker with this guy. And this guy's a fucking Chad. I mean, he's like 6'4". This guy's got everything, the hair, the shoulders. This guy's just an amazing looking guy. I'm straight, obviously, but not that there's anything wrong with being gay. I'm just saying this, but I'm straight. But I can look at this guy and go, hey, this guy's got it going on. I can see why women like that motherfucker, man. Okay? And this guy's got the humor, the gift of gab. And if I'd not seen his cell phone where he has it organized, with his contacts, I would not have believed what I'm getting ready to tell you. Like, most women would not put up with red flags from most women, most guys. Most women don't have sex with most men on the first date. Most women, they make a guy wait. They make non-chads wait. Because these guys have to prove that they're extraordinary in some way. That, they can basically compensate for the fact that they're not naturally sexually appealing for most women. So when these women reach a point where, the chads, they've had these chads run through them, They're not going to wife them up, and it's like, all right, the clock's ticking. They're in their 30s. I want to get married, have a family. And it's like, okay, I want to take attention to these guys. And the guys have to basically prove themselves. And those are the guys that make, wait. And they'll tell themselves, I got standards now. I'm trying to settle down. And I've seen this on these podcasts. These women say, well, they'll let these guys run through them when they're young, because the hot guys, the Chads, when they're looking to settle down, it's like, okay, now I got standards. I'm going to make the motherfucker wait. And it's like, wait a second. You let Chad run through you without even, like, basically with no standards, but a decent guy that could potentially be a partner for life. Are you going to make that motherfucker just go through hoops and hurdles to just prove to you? That's crazy. But that's the delusion that a lot of women have. And the sad thing is, a lot of men who aren't Chad, they simp. They're like, you know what? If I'm going to get married and have a family, I got to be a fucking simp. Okay? But here's the problem with being a simp. Sure, most women will talk themselves into, like, okay, I'm going to settle for a good guy. Okay? Because they want to get married and have a family. But here's the kicker. The vast majority of women who marry non-Chads, which makes up most women, because only 4.5% of men qualify as being a Chad, most of these women will eventually wake up one day, whether it's 5 years, 10 years, 15 years into marriage, and go, I can't do it anymore. I can't sleep next to a fucking guy that I'm just not into sexually. Because most non-Chads don't make most women tingle down there. And you know what? Every rom-com is based on this. A woman married, beginning of the movie, the woman marries a good guy, and she's been married to a good guy, got the family and everything, he's a good provider, but something's missing. And I'll tell you what, and it, like, she'll be like, see that guy, whether some guy that she had a fling with a long time ago, or wanted to have a fling with a long time ago, or she'll see her girlfriend dating somebody that knew, and be like, oh my God, look at that guy. And it's like, I'll tell you what's missing is having a Chad fucking run through them, fucking break that fucking back, make those fucking walls down there fucking part like the Red fucking Sea, and basically just treat her like a dirty little slut in bed. Okay? That's what she misses. Because the good guy, he's the nice guy. He's like, I'm not going to talk dirty to her and treat her bad. He's got her on a fucking pedestal. He makes love to her. All right? But it ain't fucking doing it for her. Okay? And these women wake up one day and just say, I can't take it anymore. And with the divorce laws being where they are, no fault, a woman just say, I'm ready to leave. And take half his shit, alimony, child support, attorney fees, and then in a lot of cases use the kids as a weapon, because now she resents the guy. He didn't do anything wrong except not be a Chad. That's what he did wrong. Okay? I hear all the times, like, they talk about what men prefer, and they'll say, like, oh, we need to be body positivity. Fat girls, quit calling them fat, quit, shaming them. Men, they just, like, women have it rough, and just, quit holding women to unrealistic standards of beauty. I'm like, really? Well, I got a question for you ladies out there. When's the last time you saw a short, fat guy on the cover of Cosmopolitan or Vogue magazine? The same women that will, bitch about a man, being shallow when it comes to the physical, are the same women that won't date a guy that's 5'5". And so when you throw this in a woman's face, she'll go, well, that's different. I want to wear high heels. So let me get this straight. It's fucked up for a man to have a preference for a woman that ain't fat and be like, She can control what she puts in her fucking mouth. However, for a woman to disqualify a guy automatically because he's not tall enough for something he can't control, because no man can control how tall they are. Okay, there's nothing you can do to make yourself fucking grow. And yet, women will justify disqualifying a guy for something he can't control. But if a man disqualifies a woman for something she can control, which is how much fucking food she puts in her fucking mouth, oh, he's a misogynistic asshole. I saw here's another thing that women are hypocritical about. I saw a podcast the other day that was talking about body count. And like women are bitching about men. And when I say men, it's not most men. Okay? Most men can't afford to, like be focused on a woman's body count if they want to get married and have kids. Okay? They can't focus on being a woman, not being a fucking 10, with the body, with the looks. All right? They can't focus on a woman having, oh, she works a lot or has a career because, they just can't. But who can focus on that? Who can disqualify a lot of women for not hitting those check marks? Chad. And especially Chads with bags. When women in their 20s, they want Chad. They want to have sex with Chad. When women reach a point and they want to get settle down, get married, and have a family, they want Chad with a bag. That's what they want. Okay? Those guys are the ones that women are talking about, really talking about, when they talk about complaining about, whatever it is they want to bitch about. But most men can't. Okay? But the Chads and the Chads with bags, or, high value men is what they call these guys. Those guys will definitely disqualify a woman for having a high body count. Because here's what a Chad with a bag is looking for in a partner. Just like women have their check marks when it comes to, most women have their check mark when it comes to what they're looking for for a Chad or a Chad with a bag. This is what the high value men, the Chads with bags, are looking for. One, you got to be a woman's at least between the ages of 18 and 24. That's right. Now, are there some high value men, Chads with bags, that look for older? What? Sure. But in general, 18 to 24. Because that's when a woman is at her peak from a physical level of beauty. Is between 18 and 24. Number two, she's got to be a 10 looks-wise. Is that absolute? No. But in general, these guys want the finest of the fine. Number three, she's got to be smoking hot on the body. Okay? Taking care of herself, in shape, just naturally blessed. If that's how you want to put it. Yes. Number four, fertile. And this is why a lot of, one of the primary reasons a lot of guys look for young women, because the older a woman gets, the less fertile she is. The more likely she's having to have complications during pregnancy. And this is something women, when they get in their early mid-30s, they just kind of they just think that high value men, that Chad with a bag, just shouldn't be concerned with. But these guys with money, they want more than just 1 or 2 kids. A lot of these guys want to have 3, 4, 5 kids. Okay? Because they got the money to have a family. And they want to have a legacy. But these career-minded women, who want to get married and have a family, they don't want to have 3, 4, 5 kids when they get in their 30s. And they just act like it's not a big deal. All right. Now, most men, on the other hand, can't afford to have 3, 4, 5 kids. All right. Even if they have a partner, because it's just expensive having big families. All right. But the men that these women want, all right, they want somebody younger, fertile. Okay. Number 5, low body count. Now, sure, these guys who are the Chads with bags, yeah, they'll fuck and have sex with a number of different women. But when it comes to wifing one up, they don't want to wife up somebody. One big reason why is paternity. A woman that's slept around, that's had a bunch of different guys go up in her, has a harder time pair bonding with her husband than a woman who's got a low body count. Now, we can sit here and talk about the double standards and all that, fair, not fair, whatever. But we don't live in a world with fair, okay? If life was fair, then guys who are 5'5" would have a chance to date a quality, good-looking woman, all right? But most good-looking women don't want to date a guy that's 5'5", okay? So I don't want to hear about fairness when women hella disqualify men for stuff they got no control over, okay? So, yeah, that's what these guys want, okay? Yeah, number 6, don't be argumentative. These guys don't want to come home to a fucking headache. All right? But a lot of the women who are like career-minded, make their own money, educated, they want to argue about everything. Drama, which goes to my number 7, having a peaceful home to come home to. These guys who are high-value men, chads with bags, these guys don't grow on trees. Okay? They just don't hand out money to people and say, here's your status, here's your career money. You know what? It's easy to come by. No, these guys had to fucking, compete, to become that high value guy, the high status man that has the wealth to be able to provide a financially secure life for his wife and family. When that guy comes home, he wants to come home to a peaceful fucking home. Number 8, be willing to be a stay-at-home mom. A lot of these guys, they don't need you to make money. They don't need you to have like this career. They want you to be able to be a good mother to the kids while he's out there providing for the family. And when he come home, he want you to be like, focus on him. How was your day? And, relax with you. How can he relax with you when you got your career and you come home, you're already fucking stressed and tired too. And you want to like dump on him. He doesn't want to have to listen to that shit. Now, most men, on the other hand, have no choice but to have to deal with that, which I'll get into later on. Which ties into being compliant. He wants you to be compliant on his program. Okay? Now, I'm not saying that this guy wants you to be like a slave or not have an opinion or just nod your head at everything he says. But, it ain't got to be about most things. He provides, okay? Now, if he loves you and cares about you and he's a good guy, of course he's going to factor in your happiness and what it is that you want, okay? Now, a good guy like that, he'll, at the end of, if you disagree with him, he'll give you a chance, to like set him straight, okay? And then after he's done that, then he expects you to abide by whatever decision he makes at the end of the day. And be like, okay, you may not disagree with it, but he's the head of the family. You're going to fucking be okay with it. Even if he may be wrong, but most of the time, if you make a good decision on who you marry, he's not going to make those kind of mistakes very often. And you just have to bite the bullet and just trust that, most of the time he's going to make the right decision. Okay? But the problem for a lot of women is that they don't want to hit these check marks because they're so focused on their check marks and what they want the guy to have. And they think that the guy should be fucking grateful to just provide every fucking dream she wants to have. And his happiness is like, fuck you, motherfucker. Be thankful I let you make me happy. Which, I'm going to get into the whole single mom thing because that's like, wow. But I just want to get into what these kind of women these guys are looking for. Now, just as most men aren't chads with bags, most women aren't 10s. Most women aren't queens. Most women aren't boss babes. All right? Just like most men, most women are flawed. You know what that makes us? Human. I saw a podcast where they had this prominent female psychologist who wrote a book about, a study she did where she asked 5,000 men and 5,000 women. She asked 5,000 men, if you met a woman that gave you 80% of what you're looking for from a partner, would you be happy? And overwhelmingly, the guy said, hell fucking yes, sign me up. She asked 5,000 women the same question. If you could meet a man to give you 80% of what you're looking for from a partner, how would you feel? And to her shock, overwhelmingly, these women said, fuck that, I'm not settling. In what fucking universe is 80% fucking settling? Oh, man, I mean, if I could got 80%, I've never been married. I gave up dating a long time ago. Because I woke up one day and realized that, after the last relationship I had, it's just like, what? Trying to please the average woman is like swimming upstream against an unyielding current. It's just impossible. The camel that broke the straw's back was, or the straw that broke the camel's back, was football season. And I'm watching, big Cowboys fan, and the Cowboys had they ended up winning the division that year, had the best record in football, and then they lost to the Giants in the divisional round. But I like watching football on Sundays. And, I was willing to have her watch it with me. And I'm not one of these guys say, you know what, I need to watch football, stay away from me, I don't want to talk to you. Because I look at sports like it's like a male soap opera. And it's like there's a lot of stuff that goes on. And I would love to be able to have met a woman that likes sports, that like watching football. We can talk about it and watch it together. But I told her, I said, if you don't watch football, go do something. Okay? And we can go out and have dinner tonight after the games are over with. And she got mad, bitched at me. And after week 4, I said, I can't deal with this anymore. Because I was miserable, trying to like deal with her, negativity. And I told her, I said, I've been a football fan for most of my life. I said, if you think I'm going to the rest of my life potentially and give up football for you, you're out of your fucking mind. And I broke up with her. And I'll never forget her reaction with me. And she said, you're breaking up with me? Like it was a shock. Like, how dare I? It's like women hate it when a guy breaks up with them. It did. Like, women used to be the one to leave a guy. I can only say, and I know I'm far from a 10. Okay? I know I'm not like Brad Pitt. But when I dated, I broke up with every girlfriend I ever had. And the reason why is that as soon as I saw if there was trouble in paradise, I ended things. Because I never was with the arguing. I don't want to argue with a woman. I don't want to like have this like, this debate about everything. And I know women say, well, you know what? You want to jump when times are tough? Of the 56% of marriages that end in divorce, women initiate 78% of all divorces. So I don't want to hear about jumping ship. Women are the ones that fucking jump ship. Okay? In my case, my mom has been married 4 times, my father 3 times. And I vowed, I said, you know what? I'm not ever going to get fucking divorced. If I were to ever get married and have a family, I'm doing it for the rest of my life. Now, if that meant that, that I was going to never get married if I didn't meet the right woman, I was fine with that. Because I would rather never get married and not have kids than to risk getting married to somebody and in divorce, and then I can't be a father of my children. Because it would pain me as a man to go through what I went through growing up. All right? I never had a father. I had a biological father, but that motherfucker didn't give a fuck about me or my brother when we were growing up. Okay? I would love to have a father play catch with me. Watch a game with me. Teach me things. All right? And my mother basically had to be a mom and a dad to us at a very young age. And she worked, come home, and yak on the fucking phones with her friends. Now, you guys think I talk a lot? I'm long-winded? This is how long-winded and how much my mom talks. Whenever I was in her presence, I couldn't get a fucking word in. That's how much she fucking talks and how fucking her pipes are and how long-winded she is. Now, that has to say a lot. If a motherfucker like me that can talk like I can, that as long-winded as I am, can't get a word in when I'm around her. That should let you know something. And she could talk on the phone with her friends for 4 or 5 hours at nighttime. And I'm, as a kid, we don't have a father. Sure, she married, this guy that was basically he provided a paycheck, but he was never around. He get off work, go to the bar and go shoot pool with his friends, go riding around. That's it. So I can remember wanting to talk to her. Never got any of that. Always, I'm too busy. I'm on the phone. I need to talk to my friends. And I yearn to have that parental, basically, contact and love, and I didn't get that. And it would pain me as a father to have kids I couldn't give that to. So as much, I think I would have made a fantastic husband and a great father. I would have, because I would have given to them what I never got as a kid. But in order to have that, you got to meet the right one. You got to have one on the same page with you. And I realized finally, back in 2007, when I was 35 years old, it dawned on me. I was able, to date women that were like basically above my league, because above my level, because I'm tall, 6'2". At the time, I was like 180. I was in good shape. Played a lot of basketball back then. But I was never like incredibly handsome. But I got some humor. I can talk. But never rich. But I was able to attract a certain type of woman that, basically, without getting into very much detail, I date a lot of women that call themselves ladies on the street, but freaks between the sheets. Because I was always the kind of guy that could, we could do things in bed, but once the sex was over with, then I can separate however kinky and freaky she likes it in bed from her wanting to be treated with respect and as a lady, as a woman outside the bedroom. And for a lot of women, it's hard for them to find that with a guy. Because a lot of guys are, and this is why I wish I tell men, it's like, you get a woman that's really be like great in bed, don't use that against her when you're having an argument with her. That shit has nothing to do with outside the bedroom stuff. Okay? And, to my credit, I never went down that road. And so I was able to meet women that kind of like those things. But the problem was, is that I was never a simp. Now, back then, I never heard that word. I just started hearing that word like maybe 5-6 years ago online. But I was never a simp. And when you're not simping, and you're not a Chad with a bag, then women start nitpicking at you. And they kind of resent you over time. And before it got to really be a bad point, I ended things. I'm like, you know what? I'm out of here. And so, since then, when I gave up dating, it was actually a relief on me. Every year, as the years have passed, whether I go down to Vegas and spend a month playing poker or, watch sports or whatever, I come home to a peaceful home. I got a dog and a cat. My dog is almost 8 years old, and I have a cat that's over a little bit, about 4.5. And I got them both when they're like 3 months old. The cat was 2 months old, the dog was 3 months old. And I have friends. I go to the park. There's a dog park here in San Francisco. Now I went through a period of time where I didn't have sex for a number of years, but then when I got my dog, I started meeting women at the park who have dogs, and I've talked to everybody, men and women, but you get kind of, converse. And so even though I haven't dated anybody since 2007, from like early 2017 to right when the pandemic began, I had probably about 5-6 different females that I had friends with benefits with. I go to their house, they come here, and ironically, all of them were in relationships with somebody. Not that I was intentionally seeking that, but and they were missing something. And the guys they were with were like made a lot more money than me. A couple of them even better looking than me. But you know, I kind of like flirted and whatever, and think of it, you got a dog and your dog plays with her dog. There's a way you can flirt with a woman at a dog park in a subtle way. If she doesn't bite, you can play it off. But if she kind of does bite, and you show up every day at the park and she sees you, she gets a little familiar with you, then you can kind of like use current events or a movie or whatever, to kind of like incorporate certain things. And then over time, kind of felt like she have an interest in you. And I was pretty skilled at that. And so I didn't go without sex, but I, never dated since 2007. And then when the pandemic began, that kind of changed everything. And it's just like, I turned 50 a couple of years ago, and it's just like, it's exhausting trying to do the friends of benefit, with that. And plus, what hurt me was my dog. She wasn't a puppy anymore, and she went from playing to every dog. See, that's the thing is, if you're talking to a woman in a park for anything longer than a few seconds, then you kind of need to like have an excuse to be in her presence, or you come across as being a creep. If your dog is playing with her dog, that gives you a great leeway to just talk. And so my dog quit playing, and she kind of like, I got some couple other dogs that she's cool with, but she doesn't play much anymore, and or play with other dogs. And so that combined with me turning 50, it's just like, I don't need sex anymore. I don't need to go chase. Get a little horny. I got plenty of porn on my laptop. I've collected over years. Do what I got to do. Bam, I'm good. But the point is, I bring all that is that I live life on easy mode nowadays. I got no stress, no drama, no angst. I come home to a peaceful home, and it's just, my expenses are low. The stuff, I have, good situation financially. I'm not rich, but I'm a single guy with no kids. Okay? My car's paid for, I don't need to buy clothes every year to update my wardrobe. I don't need to buy a bunch of jewelry. I don't need to update my car, every year or two. I don't have to needlessly spend money on bullshit, so I can save a little money. And I just enjoyed my life. And, when I go out in public, I want to go play cards. I can socialize while I'm at the poker table. But when I want to come home, I come home, relax, and just watch something on Netflix, watch a ball game, and just be cool. I get plenty of exercise. I walk my dog 3 times a day. I get, whenever I want to have, I get socialize with people every day. So, point is, giving up dating was just like a relief. But here's the kicker. As time has passed on, I'm not the only guy that's starting to feel this way. More and more men are starting to basically go their own way. I think they call it MGTOW, men going their own way. And deciding, what? I get actual pleasure doing the things that I enjoy doing. Okay? I like doing the things I like. Sure, there part of me would like to have a female that could enjoy doing those things. Yeah. But I'm a realist, okay? Even women who are my age, like women divorced or whatever, I'm 52. So women are like in their late 40s, mid-late 40s or early mid-50s. They got standards, quote. But here's the difference between standards and preferences. The better looking you are, the more sexy you are, or handsome or whatever, male, female, the higher your preferences can be. Like where you rate on that scale 1 to 10, realistically, you can find a partner on that level. Okay? Like me, I can be honest. At this point in my life, at best, I'm a 5. Okay? And the reason I can say that, I'm tall. Okay? That's a plus. But as you can tell, I'm not bald. I shake my head, but I got a receding hairline, far from a head full of shoulders. I'm not, I'm down to 224. I'm not bony or non-muscular, but I don't have like those broad shoulders. I don't have that great smile. I don't have those striking eyes. My chin's not bony, but I don't have that pronounced like, chiseled chin. Okay. And, like I said, I according to the body mass index, I'm 224. I think I carry my weight good, but I'm overweight. So I can honestly do an assessment of myself and understand that, hey, at best I'm a 5. Now, do I want to be with a woman that's a 5? I would 5 or 6 if we had common interests, if she wasn't delusional. But the problem is, and I get back to the 4.5 thing, that most women are sexually attracted only to 4.5% of men. And that includes women that are at best 5s and 6s in the looks department. When women who are at best 5s and 6s in the looks department only want guys who are above an 8, getting back to that 80% of women, I mean, most women look at 80% of men as being below a 5, whereas the top 20% above an 8. That means men who are 5s, 6s, 7s, and 8s, they're lumped with the below 5 guys. And guys who are like 5s, 6s, 7s, and even 8s, they fucking struggle dating. Because you got this small, minute percentage of men that are basically fucking a significant percentage of women out there. And they're rotating guys. I mean, these guys are rotating among, the women are rotating among these guys. And these guys are juggling a bunch of different females. And I want to get back to this Chad I play poker with about, I was describing him. 6 foot, 6'4", hit all the check marks, okay? He's 35 years old. And this guy, I mean, I've seen the text messages. And this is pretty impressive. Currently, he's got 5 different women that he's running through right now, juggling. And he's got pictures attached to all their phone numbers in his contacts. These are some smoking hot females, okay? Not only that, he's fucking running through and juggling each of their female friend groups. And none of these 5 females know each other. And so I've seen how he's got in his contacts. He showed me. I mean, it's just mind-boggling. Let's say that one girl is named like Mary. All right, that's the main girl in the group that he's messing with. All right, and she's got like Vanessa as her friend. So he'll have like Mary like in his contact, and then like if he's fucking with Vanessa also, he'll have Mary ... Vanessa, which he'll know that, and he saves the text messages so he keeps track of all these women he's fucking. Vanessa is Mary's friend because he met Mary first, and then he started running through her female friends. And each of them's got like 3 or 4 friends that he's fucking. Okay? And he's got like 5 women. Now, doesn't mean he's doing them all same day. No. But he's juggling, making excuses, saying he's busy, whatever. But he's, because this guy's got like a, apparently, he likes to have a lot of sex. And it's like an ego thing, like all these, and I guess when you have a variety, you can kind of get it up because you get, keep getting it up. You're having sex, almost every day, because you're doing it with different females. And then not only that, here's the thing is, each of the women that he's fucking with, he's cheating on her friend with them. They each think that they're the only one that he's cheating on her friend with. And he's fucking like 2 or 3 other girlfriends, but none of them know about it. And this is the thing I've learned, about women, is that because only a small percentage of men are Chads, a woman could meet a Chad, and her friends who are single, and maybe even married too, because this guy's fucking a couple of these married women. All right, they're like they'll kind of like give a guy a look. Like, and I call it like the Tiger whistling. Like when Tiger would notice a woman and the woman give him a look, and if Tiger didn't reciprocate, he can kind of play it off. And then vice versa. He can give her a look, and if she didn't reciprocate, she play it off. And like, because these women like, okay, well, her hot friend is in this guy. I mean, he must be doing something right. And, because Chads don't grow on trees. Okay? And so that's what he does. But he also will like ghost a woman. Like he'll fuck them for a little while, then he'll like ghost them for a couple months. And then out of the blue, he'll be like, okay, I got nothing going on tonight. I want to see what she's up to. And he'll literally text, hey baby, how you doing? I know it's been a while since we hung out, but I was wondering if you're not busy tonight, would you like to come over and hang out tonight? And within like a couple minutes, these women are, sure. Hey baby, sure, no problem. What time you want me to come over? Just like that. And then I'll see that the last time he texted them was like 3 months ago. There's no fucking way that the average guy could even pull shit like that off. No fucking way. If I ever did some shit like that, I'd be fucking vilified. All right? Blasted. Who the fuck you think you are, motherfucker? You don't contact me? Fuck you. But the Chads of the world, the rocking red flags of the world, these guys can pull it off, man. They're the ones that get, women say, oh, I don't have sex on the first date. Yeah, that's true with most men, but not with Chad. No, man. You know why? Like most women wait, most men wait, but not Chad. Because one, these women know Chad don't fuck around. If they try to play bullshit games with Chad, he's got other options. Number two, they actually want to fuck Chad. Chad makes them tingle. They see that guy, oh man, because you know what? Hey, women desire sex just as much as men do. The difference is, most men find way more women to be sexually appealing than women do men. Okay? So, it's true. Most women reject most men. But they don't reject Chad. They want to fuck Chad. Or excuse me, they want Chad to fuck them. Okay? And Chad's more willing to accommodate to him. But they also want a relationship with Chad. All right? But they want Chad to commit to them. They want exclusivity with Chad. But Chad don't want exclusivity. All right? He'll string you along, tell you that he wants it, but no, they don't. They want variety. All right? Most men would love variety. We're wired that way. But the problem is most men don't have the option. You know, I hear all the time women, oh, men cheat. No. Most men cannot cheat. Why? Because most women find most men to be unappealing sexually. So it's kind of hard to cheat when you can't, attract somebody. All right? But Chads, they're the ones that fucking cheat. So when women talk about, yeah. Here's something else I want to touch on. So anyway, but before I get on this, get back to my friend, the Chad that I play poker with. This guy, man, I mean, he's just juggling them. All right. And literally, I mean, he's, this guy, and it's one guy. Okay. But imagine the number of men that haven't had sex in the past year. They've done studies on this. 1/3 of men have not had any sex in the last year. And I'm one of those guys. Okay. Now, unlike a lot of women, when women say, I'm single because I choose to be single. I'm not looking for him. Bullshit. Okay? Just as, I can technically say I choose to be single because I quit going out there, but it was really no choice because the options I have out there are options I don't want to have. So when a woman says that she's single and she chooses to be single, I got options, but I just want to be single now. No. The options she has are not options that she wants. Sure, she may have a lot of guys that want to have sex with her or go out with her, but those are not the guys that she wants. Because if a woman were to come across a guy that she's sexually attracted to, that she thinks would make a good partner, but she, maybe I'm not ready. Bullshit. All right? Bull fucking shit. Because women know, deep down, these guys don't fucking come around that often. Okay? And so, yeah, she'll make it happen. Okay? She ain't let that guy go away. Okay? So if I can sort of be honest and say, yeah, you know what? The choice was kind of made for me. But you know what? I'm okay with that because I'm a fucking realist. Okay? The choices that were out there for me, I just, for me to put forth that kind of effort it would take to get somebody to want to date me and possibly marry me, is exhausting. I would have to pull out all the steps, and I'd have to fucking simp my fucking ass off. Be a fucking simp in order to get a woman that was even halfway decent to want to date and marry me. And I just don't want to do that because I know I'm not a Chad. I know I'm not a Chad with a bag. So if I were to get one that want to settle for me, because that's what she'd be doing. She'd be settling. Because women always like to say they're different. they offer their unique. No, no. Most women are the same. Okay, they want the same things. They want the same type of guy. And I'll give you an example, which is my next point I'm going to make. I have a female friend who, maybe a couple months ago, yeah, it was a couple months ago, I happened to kind of mention, I met her, I know her at a dog park, and I can't mention about this Facebook page called, every major city has one. It's called, Are We Dating the Same Guy? And let's say that a woman's dating a guy, and she wonders if he's cheating or dating anybody else. So and they got one in every city. So like here in San Francisco, there's a Facebook page in San Francisco called "Are We Dating the Same Guy?" It's run by women, and you have to be a female to join the group. It's got private settings, and so what happens is if like my friend, she joined, and what they do is they check your Facebook page and make sure that you just didn't create one yesterday, because you could be a guy just trying to get on there, see if you're on there. Okay, so. After a few days, they'll vet you, whatever, then you get to join. And then what you do is you post your picture of a guy that you're dating. You go, hey, anybody else dating this guy right now? As a way to find out, yes or no, whatever. But what she told me was, and this was kind of like, interesting to read, a lot of it turns into a bitching session from his past girlfriends. Okay, sure, maybe some of these guys are fucking around, obviously, all right, because that's what chads do. But some of it's just like what some past guy did. Okay, now the reason I brought this up because I had seen a thing on the news about this guy who's suing this Facebook page for like I guess he fucked like 60 different girls, and they were like, he put his picture on there and they were talking bad about him, and he was suing for like defamation or whatever. And like they actually had the women that were being sued, okay, and they were interviewing them, and you're like, man, you look at these women, it's like, at best, there were a couple sevens, but most like five, like sixes, sevens. I didn't see any eights. All right, but but there were women like they were cute, attractive. I would have no problem with dating them. I would find them sexually appealing, but they're not tens. And this guy's like a dentist, has his own practice. He's wealthy. He's like in his early 40s, and he's a very good-looking guy. And I'm sitting there thinking, are these women like delusional? I mean, you're a 6, you're a 7, you're okay attractive, but you think you're gonna get this Chad with a bag to like commit to you? I mean, at some point, women need to start being accountable for the decisions they make when it comes to the type of guy that they hook up with. They always like, oh, he lied to me, he played, I didn't know that. Come on, do an honest assessment on where you rate on a scale of 1 to 10. Okay? If a fucking supermodel came up to me, started flirting with me, I'd be like, man, did I inherit some money I didn't know about? Did I win a lottery I didn't know? I'd be like, what the fuck's going on here? But women, no, they all think they're 10s. They all think they're fucking queens. They all think you shouldn't settle. Nobody should settle. So, okay, no woman should fucking settle. Lizzo's a fucking 10. Lizzo shouldn't fucking settle. In what fucking universe is Lizzo a fucking 10? Maybe 10 tons. But she ain't a fucking 10. Okay? I got a question for you guys. Remember when that came out when Beyonce found out that Jay-Z was cheating on her? Here's a question for you. If Beyonce and Jay-Z if she were to divorce him, which one of them would be able to marry a partner that they could potentially get fulfillment with? Jay-Z or Beyonce? Jay-Z in a fucking heartbeat. Now, I know a lot of ladies are going to say, oh man, Beyonce, she's fucking hot. She's got it going on. She's successful, rich. Man. But she's 50. She's got kids. And she's a fucking she's a fucking, not masculine like in a lesbian butch kind of way, but she's a fucking masculine mentality female. The type of guy that she would be willing to fucking replace Jay-Z with, it's got to be way the fuck up there. Okay? Now, sure, like, Tom Brady's ex-wife, yeah, she's fucking the fucking yoga guy or the Pilates guy, right? He's a hot guy, probably breaking her back. But I bet she ain't gonna fucking put a ring on that motherfucker's finger. He ain't making the kind of money, don't have nearly the status that Tom Brady. So, like, just like Jay-Z, if Gazelle were to fucking hit Tom Brady's ex-wife were to get married, if she were to get married, that guy's got to be fucking extraordinary. So how do you go from Tom Brady, to a regular guy? Or a guy that's got it going on, but he's not nearly on Tom Brady's level. No. She would never settle for a guy like that. Even though she's like almost 50. Okay? She's attractive, but she is nowhere near where she was when she was in her mid-20s. Okay? So the type of guy that she would be into is not going to go for a woman like her. She's got kids. You don't have any more kids. The type of guy she want to settle with, that guy's going to want somebody younger. So like, just like Jay-Z, Tom Brady's probably a better example because they got divorced. If he wants to marry, he's actually got two choices. Either if he wants to start a family, he's going to marry somebody fucking hot in their early 20s. Okay? Have another family. Or, if he's like Ben Affleck, he'll marry somebody like J-Lo. Ben Affleck doesn't want to have any more kids. And he's attracted to a woman that's on his level. Okay? So, yeah. Because he married J-Lo. So, but that's his choice. Ben Affleck, if he wanted to go the younger woman route, he could. But Tom Brady's ex-wife is not going to marry some younger guy that's like, up and coming or whatever. No. She's not going to marry a man that is significantly less wealthy than she is. No. And Beyonce, unlike a lot of women on her level, she did the smart thing. Like Hillary Clinton, she stayed with Bill Clinton, even though everybody knows that he fucked around, because Bill Clinton is, whatever philandering he does, Bill Clinton is a high status guy. And he's, intelligent, and she, they have an intelligent mental connection when it comes to like politics. He stimulates her intellectually. And of course she's not happy. No woman's happy that her guy's fucking around. But regardless, whatever, they stayed married. Beyonce stayed married to Jay-Z. All right, because she smartly realized that, you know what? At this point in her life, who could she replace him with? That would even come close to remotely making her happy and fulfilling her. Okay? So, that's the difference between, one difference between guys at that level and someone like Beyonce or Tom Brady's ex-wife. Because I bet you one thing, her female friends that she talked to about this before they got divorced, they all had to be single women. Because the worst friends that a married woman can have are women friends who are single. Because they'll give the worst fucking advice ever. Fuck him. How dare he play another year worth of football? You stood by him all this time and he still wants to play. He's probably fucking around on you. Fuck that motherfucker. He should be fucking bowing down to you and all the sacrifices you made. Blah, 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 blah. And she got that toxic single female mentality and left his ass. Now, if Tom Brady hits every fucking check mark that a high value man has to hit to be a high value man, good looking, successful, make money, he just signed a 10-year, $400 million contract to broadcast games for Fox Sports starting this year. Okay? He made a lot of money playing the NFL, got all the accolades. He's going to make more money in broadcasting than he ever did make playing. And he's got a longer shelf life as an NFL broadcaster than he did. And he played 20 years in the NFL. He can at least 20, 30 years as a broadcaster. He can broadcast in the 70s. Broadcast for like 4 or 5 months out of the year, and then gets the rest of the year off. But if he ain't enough to make a woman not divorce his ass, because she left him like yesterday's trash. Okay? Now, if he cheated on her, it would have came out. Nothing came out. So if Tom Brady can't make a woman happy, what kind of chance does a motherfucker like me got a chance of making a woman happy? So I woke up to my reality years ago. And so, like, but there's sure, I risk growing old alone. Yeah, sure. I get that. And there's a part of me, be like, I think about it from time to time because I'm human. I'm not immune to, like, thinking about the future and be like, man, it'd be nice to, like, grow old with somebody. But yearning for something like that and then just assessing the reality of being able to have something like that, I just don't see it happening. Because women that would be around my age, a little younger or older, they want a guy like me. They want that exceptional guy to chat with a bag. Because you know what? I go online. Anytime I have a weak moment, I go on YouTube and I look at these different podcasts or like these clips. And within half a second, I'm like, whatever weak moment I was having, that shit just dissipated just like that within half a second. And I'm like, I'm glad I got my life right now. I would not give up my easy mode life for anything. Okay? Because it's not just the younger guys, guys that have way more going for themselves than I do that, struggle. Guys who are like divorced, like in their, mid, late 40s, early 50s who take care of themselves, still good looking guys, because there's a difference between a woman who's in her 40s and 50s and a guy that takes care of himself who's in his 40s and 50s. Like they say that men age like fine wine, women age like milk. Their shelf life is only for so long when it comes to physical. Now, sitting there talking about, well, she's accomplished. She's got a career. She makes money. Yeah, but now most men will be attracted to a woman that has those accolades. However, the type of men that those women want to be with, they don't give a fuck about how much money she makes or what her education or accolades are. They want peace. They want to see somebody that's younger, that's got, can have sex for a lot longer than a woman that's getting ready to hit menopause. If she's not already hit menopause or had breast cancer or all the kinds of stuff that women that age get. I'm not saying men age don't have problems, but their problems aren't nearly the physical problems that the average woman has when she gets older. Now, I'm not going to say, well, it's not fair. Men shouldn't look at older women, like that. But you know what? Women fucking disqualify men for way more check marks that they don't hit than the average guy does. The only guys that can fucking afford to be that fucking picky are the very men that most women want. So, how most women treat most men, women hate it when the small percentage of men that they all want treat them like that. My response is, turnabout's fair play. Join the fucking club, ladies. Now you know how most men feel. Okay? When we get ignored. Because now you're getting ignored. You hit the wall. You reach a point where the guys that you are into aren't looking at you no more. They find you invisible. Well, guess what? Just like you looked at most men as being invisible, now you're getting the fucking treatment in return. And I don't feel sorry for your fucking ass. Okay? Because when a woman turns 18, if she's got any kind of looks, she has value to the world. She can be a model, some rich guy will want to spend time with her, fly her out, she gets on Instagram. Oh my God, she can make all kinds of money. Most men, when they turn 18, they got no value to the world. A man has to build himself up. Now, sure, there are guys who are chads, but those guys are far and few between. They can get laid and play the field and all that. But most men, they have to build themselves up. They have to go to school, go to internships, go to graduate school, start a business, join a law firm, do a residency at a hospital, whatever it is. In their 20s, they're not partying, they're not going to a club. They are fucking working all kinds of hours, networking, and just putting in the hours to better themselves. Okay? And so for a lot of these men who become high value men, they don't become high value men until they're like early, mid, late 30s. And then they can finally, when they finally become partner, that business has an IPO, whatever. Now they got money. And now they built themselves up where they can have people under them kind of like, do like some of the nitty gritty nuts and bolts day-to-day stuff. And now these guys have the time and money and the status to be able to enjoy themselves. Whereas a woman, she can start enjoying herself, in meeting quality men when she's, as soon as she turns 18. A woman can do OnlyFans and make a lot of fucking money when she turns 18. But men, on the other hand, unless you're a young guy who's gay, or you got a fucking 10-inch cock that you can fucking jerk off or like fuck other women and join OnlyFans, and where you can get people to pay you to be subscribed to your site, that's the exception to the rule. Okay? Most chads who are straight are not going to want to do gay shit. Okay? And most men are not packing 10-inch cocks that, can get a hell of a subscriber list, on OnlyFans. So in general, the women making money the people making money on OnlyFans are fucking young women. Okay? And so they can just sit there and just whatever. But here's the thing is, just as an older man has a choice, like Ben Affleck, his choice after Jennifer Garner divorced him, either marry J-Lo or he can marry that young hot female and start a family with her. Women have a choice when they turn 18, particularly the attractive ones. Do they want to do OnlyFans, make money, or they want to have a career and make money? Or do they want to use their youth and say, you know what? I want to marry a high value man. I'm going to not give myself away sexually. And I'm going to, I'll go to college, meet people, but have the intention that if the right guy comes around, I want to get married and have a family. And be the best wife I can be to him. Because a woman who does that, and they get that guy, and they make him happy and have great kids with him, that guy ain't going to divorce her. Now, if he's a Chad with a bag, I'm not saying that he's not going to fuck around on her. Okay? Because women who marry Chads with bags, a rock star, or a Tiger Woods professional athlete, be real. Most of these guys are going to fuck around. And when I say fuck around, I don't mean necessarily just going out and be like a pussy hound. Women, hot women, are going to fucking flirt with them all the fucking time. That's the world we live in. Okay? Hot women are going to flirt. Now, but you will be his main girl. You'll be the wife. You're the one that he shares his life with, that he, shares his wealth with. The side chick, that's just, just get dessert somewhere else every now and then. Okay? But he ain't going to leave you. It's expensive for a guy to divorce a woman, especially a guy that's wealthy. Okay? So if he were to leave you, you're going to get a nice big fat fucking check. Okay? But if he doesn't leave you, then you're going to have the family, and you're going to grow old, and your kids are going to get married, and he's going to want to stay with you. Because the reality is, most men don't divorce women. Women divorce men. Of the 52% of marriages that end in divorce, women initiate 78% of them. So that means, in general, men don't divorce women. Even the ones who are unhappy, they stick it out. Women are the ones that jump ship. Because women always think they could do better. Okay? So, also, like I said, they eventually get tired and they can't be with a non-Chad anymore. Every rom-com's based on that shit. That's why they fucking make a lot of money at the box office. Because it resonates with most women. So, I just watch these things and it's now here's the kicker I want to say. I watch these podcasts, like the Fresh and Fit and whatever, and the whatever podcast. And I agree with like their takes on dating. I just disagree with their politics because a lot of these guys are fucking, MAGA, white ring, Jesus freaks, and so I don't believe in a made up God, and I'm not a fucking Republican, despite, my take on dating. I'm a liberal guy, okay? But when it comes to dating, I just think women today are just totally delusional and unrealistic when it comes to, their expectations of dating. They mix up standards with preferences. Standards are non-negotiable. How you want to be treated, monogamy with most guys. Expecting a high-value Chad to stay faithful to you, I think is just an unrealistic thing. But those guys are like 1 out of every 10,000 men. The other men, particularly men that when you're a woman, you make money and you're marrying a guy and you got to work and he's working, you have every right to demand that he's your partner. Most men have to find a partner because it takes 2 incomes to make most family works, okay, so, to provide for most families where they can live comfortable, okay? A woman who's working, who brings equality to a relationship, has every right to demand that her partner is monogamous, that when they come home, he does his chores, he helps out with his chores, that he listens to her when she needs to vent, okay? But high-value men are not looking for a partner. They don't need a partner. They want a wife, okay? And they want a wife that's going to be a stay-at-home wife, be a mom to the kids, and provide peace. Because he's providing the wealth that will make the family live a very financially secure, lavish, stress-free life. And so these women who are like boss babes, you're not going to marry a high-value guy and expect him to treat you like a partner. Because that guy's not looking for a fucking partner. He wants a wife. Now, you call yourself a boss babe and you're Miss Independent and you want to marry a partner, you want a husband for a partner, then you need to target a non-Chad who doesn't have a bag. Now, all you ladies out there go, I don't want to marry a broke-ass, ugly guy who doesn't take care of himself, who lives in grandma's basement. That's another reason why it's impossible to deal with women. Because women take things to the extremes. Every time you try to explain what it is, a man wants, how you see things, women always take it to the fucking extreme. There's always there's always an outlier. This is possible. Yeah, anything's possible, all right? But the exception to the rule don't make it the rule. Just because something's possible doesn't mean it's probable. Women like to live in the land of possibility. Men, we live in the land of probability. We have to make decisions based on probability. Just like I did when I decided to give up dating, because I felt like the chances of me probably finding somebody that I could really enjoy being happy with long term without having to be a fucking simp, the probability of that was just fucking nil. So that's why I gave up. It's okay to give up. Everybody played tic-tac-toe when they was a kid at some point in their childhood. And then you give up playing. Why? Because nobody wins. It always ends in a tie. Well, dating's become that nowadays for most guys. There's no winning. And so, yeah, we live in the land of probability, not possibility. Okay? And women always want to go there. So I'm not saying no, you shouldn't lower your standards. But your preferences need to fucking lower for most women. Because most women aren't 10s, okay? Most women ain't queens, okay? If you're a 5 or a 6 or a 7, you know what? You need to target a guy that's a 5, 6, or 7, okay? But the problem is most women, guys who are 7s or even 8s, most women look at them as being below a 5. So ladies, if you want to look in the mirror and blame somebody for not being able to find a quality partner, look in the fucking mirror. Because your preferences are fucking through the roof. and they're delusional. Okay? The only women that have a realistic, that should have a realistic expectation to meet like a fucking Chad with a bag are women who are 10s. Maybe a 9 if a guy is, that kind of guy is into a 9, but in general, no. If you're not a 10, all right, and we all know who the 10s are, okay? If you're not a 10, you're not going to marry that Chad with a bag. Get the fuck out of here, okay? Just as most men aren't 10s. You got to be realistic. Do an honest assessment. If you don't know where that is, ask different men. If you don't want to go up to a male friend because you're afraid that he's going to not be honest with you because he don't want to piss you off, go up to a complete stranger at a bar or somewhere. Just be honest. Like, you know what? I'm not going to get mad at you. What do you think I rate on a scale of 1 to 10? All right? I want to know. I'm not going to be mad at you. Just let me know and what you see my flaws are. Because if you want to correct them, you can. But what I'm saying is, just ask for that honesty. Because if you ask your female friends, they're going to lie to you. Women are the worst people that a woman can go to for advice on how she looks. Because they're not going to fucking go on look at these podcasts where they ask these women, they all rate them. Like, the first one has to rate each other, rate themselves, then rate your person next to you, right? And they all, oh my, you're great, you're gorgeous. You're 10. All right? And they all say 10. But if the first one says, you're an 8, then the next one say you're an 8. All right? Because when the first one starts saying, oh, you're a 6, fuck you, bitch, you're a fucking 5. I mean, the knives come out. Because that's how women are. Men, on the other hand, we're fucking honest with each other. Man gains weight, who said they got, man fucking stay at home eating Cheetos and, overweight, and he expect to meet a fucking fine-ass woman. The guy's going to say, fuck, motherfucker, get off your fucking ass at the fucking gym. Your fat ass ain't going to get shit. You fat, broke-ass motherfucker. That's how men are. We fucking are, in general, we're honest with each other. So, ladies, if you want an honest assessment on where you rate on a scale of 1 to 10 when it comes to your looks, ask a guy. But just make sure that you make it where he can be, let him know that he can be as honest because you need that honesty. Okay? And then once you know that, then you kind of go from there. Okay? And do an honest assessment on the kind of guy. Because there are decent guys out there. Now, if you think you're going to fucking meet that guy that makes you tingle, remember, only 4.5% of men can make most women tingle. Most men have no problem marrying a woman that's not a fucking 10. Because if a woman's a good woman, and she's going to be a good mother to our kids, we can make a variety of different body types work for us. I mean, not long as she's not a whale or just like hair on her fucking chin. But she's even a halfway decent, attractive woman. And she's good. We can make that work. The average guy can make that work. Most women today, in the past, most women can make that work. But not today. Because way more women are educated, make their own money, have careers than ever in the past. And women today have that mentality. They're not going to settle. But your definition of settle is whacked. Because you're losing preferences as opposed to standards. And you're lumping them together. No. Standards and preferences are not the same. But because of the average female's inability to differentiate between the two, Morgan Stanley came out with a study that they released last year. And it was surprising to get more press. But they said they told their investors, when it comes to stuff to like invest in the future, where we're headed, they said by 2030, 42% of women age 40 and over are going to be single and childless by 2030. Not just single, but single and childless. 42% by 2030 are going to be single and childless. So you know what that says, among other things? Invest in pet food, because a lot more and more women are going to be getting cats and dogs as pets. Invest in Petco, PetSmart. that's their stock is going to go through the roof because more and more women are not. They're just going to decide, I don't want to settle, or if they do get married, they're going to get divorced. But they're not even going to get married and have kids because they're going to be single and childless. And the mentality among women who are educated, have careers and make their own money, they'd rather be single and get a pet than to settle and get married and have a family with a guy that's not a Chad, doesn't have a bag. Because only 4.5% of men are Chads. And at best, 1% of men are Chads with bags. Less than that, probably. But I'm just saying. That's 1 out of every 100 guys. And that's including the married ones. If you look at only the single ones, it's got to be 1 in 1,000. Probably less than that. Are Chads with bags. So, you ladies out there who happen to come across this, unless you start making some realistic adjustments to your preferences, nothing wrong with having high standards, but your preferences are things that a man can't control, which is his looks. Okay? Man can't control that. He can't control his looks. He can't control how tall he is. And he can't control how big his fucking dick is. Okay? The things that a man can control is what kind of shape he's in. Does he take care of his body? If he's faithful. If he wants to communicate with you. If he wants to treat you like a partner. If he wants to be honest with you. Those, like, does he want to get kids and, like, share a life vision? Those are things a man can control. All right? But when it comes to the stuff that he can't control, and you want that motherfucker to hit those check marks, you better be a fucking 10. Because if you're not a fucking 10, then you need to make some adjustments to those fucking check marks. All right, I didn't realize that this video has been going on like an hour and a half, so I'm going to go ahead and close it for now. If you guys want to make comments, I'd love to hear from your comments. And I'll try not to, wait so long before I post another video. If I like what you guys have to say in the comment section, then, ask me some questions, and I'll make a video about your questions, okay? All right, you guys have a good night, and I hope to hear from you guys soon.